Gentleman's recognized. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Murtha. Thank you for having the temerity to speak truth to power. Thank you for having the temerity to be willing to separate the war on terror from the travesty that's taking place in Iraq. It's amazing to me. You know, this used to be a place, as Professor Remini writes, where members would come down unrehearsed, without charts or graphs. They'd speak from their heart. They talk about this institution and what it means to democracy all over the world. What a sham today. We should all glorify in the aspects of democracy that take place all around the world and in Iraq. But what a sham this is today when we're denied any alternative resolution. Mr. Lantos eloquently stated that earlier today when he talked about George Michael and his eloquence standing on this floor, talking about speaking truth to power. And that's what's so upsetting to the American people, and why Mr. Murtha has been recognized all around this country for standing up and speaking the truth to the American people. Something this administration and frankly this Congress has been unable to do. Level with the American people. Let's start with leveling with the American troops. Leveling with all of those families of reservists and National Guardsmen who I speak with on a regular basis, who have been deployed, redeployed, deployed and redeployed again and many times because we haven't had a plan. Here we are in a race between cooperation and catastrophe, and you guys bring to the floor a political document not designed for a new direction or to bring the country together to discuss this issue the way it should be, but instead as talking points outlined by Karl Rove in New Hampshire, sandwiched in between the president's photo op and a picnic this evening. Americans are outraged that we don't have a citizenry and members here who are willing to stand up and have accountability. We all support the war on terror. And this party, from Roosevelt to Truman to Kennedy to Jack Murtha, has stood on the watch wall of freedom and stood there valiantly, but collectively with the American people and in this body and in this chamber. But that's not going on here today. Instead, it's right out of the playbook. Attack Jack Murtha. Excuse me, can I have another additional minute?
1 minute.
Attack the messenger. That's a formula that works. It worked against Max Cleland. It worked against John Kerry. Geez, that'll work against Jack Murtha also. Discredit this guy. Discredit what he's had to say because he had the temerity to speak truth to power. In an administration that can't level with the American public, can't level with you. Why don't you criticize General Baptiste, General Zinni, General von Riper? All of these generals, are they all wrong too for speaking truth to power? Shouldn't we be talking about how we can collectively move forward in a new direction for this country instead of a tried and true playbook of political jargon on a resolution that's non-binding? Truth to power. I'm proud to associate myself with Mr. Murtha in everything he stands for. I yield back my time.
The chair would renew his request that all members should address their comments to the chair and not to other members. Gentleman from Michigan.
Like